My name is Olta Mucaj, and I'm here today on behalf of Ready Education. And today, as you can see, we are going to talk about student engagement. So what are the engagement preferences when we talk about students, whether it's domestic students or international students? Now, as I said, it's been a long day, and the last thing that I want, to be honest, is to throw at you yet another presentation, even because, let's be honest, most probably you will not even remember it by tomorrow. So instead, I would like to start telling you a story. My story, which most probably is very similar to your story, and most importantly, it's similar to your student's story. So let me take you back to 2005. I know, it's a long time. It's 20 years when we think of that. But that year was extremely important for me. I had just finished high school, and encouraged by my professor and driven by my passion for languages, I decided to apply to a top Italian university specialized in translation and interpreting. There was a tiny problem. This university was 500 kilometers away from my hometown. But I was so determined, so I applied, I got in, and I was excited, I was thrilled. But as we all know, excitement very quickly got replaced by a sense of fear, confusion, even stress, I must confess. In the end, I was way younger than I am today. So I started asking myself a lot of questions. First and foremost, where am I going to live? Where am I going to stay? Because, as I said, it was a completely new city to me, 500 kilometers away. I started asking myself, what about my classmates? Who will be my classmates? Will there be someone from my own country, from my own city? What about the course materials, and so on? Eventually, I did find my way, so months went by, years went by, I graduated, life moved on, and here I am today in front of you. However, still, even today, every now and then, I keep on asking myself the same questions. What if? What if my university had been providing me a little bit more support even before I was admitted, knowing that I was highly interested in going to that university? What if I had been able to meet other people with whom most probably I had way more things in common, for example, hobbies, and people that not necessarily were my classmates, but people from other faculties? And then the last question. What about my former classmates, so the current alumni? Where are they? Because it's true, social media has helped a lot getting in touch, but there are so various social media that it's barely impossible to be in touch with everyone, so that connection has been lost forever. Now, coincidentally, right in the same year, so again, 2005, a group of students, but this time on a completely other side of the world, this time it was in New York City, in the campus of a business school, so like your schools, students at NYU Stern School of Management were asking themselves the same questions. But differently from me, they didn't simply move on and graduated. They were way more proactive. So they started building their own platform, their own tool, that initially was created for the student organization and whose purpose was to make it easy for student members and student leaders to get in touch with each other, to communicate in an easy way, to create events, to create groups. Well, that platform nowadays has become really huge. It has grown, and it has become the flagship product of our company of Ready Education, whose mission, it still is the same mission after 20 years, is to provide the platform that students use every day to be successful. As I said, 20 years have passed, and that platform is now used by over 700 institutions globally. You can see the map. And then we help over 7 million students. How do we help them? By making them feel way more connected and part of their student community. Now, because our platform was created from students, and it was meant to help students, student perspective is highly important for us at Ready Education. And this is the reason why we decided last year to carry out a survey through a third party. And we carried out this survey among hundreds of students. asking them about their challenges. So what are the challenges that they are mainly facing, and what are the solutions that we can provide to overcome these challenges? And these are some of the results that I'm going to share with you today. The first challenge that students declared having when they first start their studies, be it a university or even a business school, is that very often they do not feel like they are part of the community. And actually, that was also my initial feeling at the beginning. I knew where I was going, I knew the university, I knew the prestige, but I didn't know anything about the community or what to expect from that community. 19% of those students also declared that they find it very difficult then to connect afterwards with classmates, or even worse, connecting with people that are not members of their class. Almost 60% of them declared feeling overwhelmed by the tasks that they have to carry out every day at university, even because, let's not forget about it, we all have so many tasks nowadays with everything that is happening in our lives. The most concerning part for me personally was actually that 6 in 10 students declared missing deadlines on assignments, and they often forgot about exams at least once or even twice a term. Now, communication. They declared quite openly that they felt overwhelmed with the constant flow of communication coming from their institutions, be it through newsletters, through emails, or through notifications. But at the same time, 71% of students declared that they would be very happy to read that kind of communication instead of trashing it or dismissing it, provided that that information is very relevant to them. Engagement. Students want to be engaged. They want to be updated on the events that they are going to attend, because that makes them feel a better part of the community. At the same time, they mentioned something extremely important, the extracurricular activities. Now, this takes me back again to those 20 years ago. I remember that during my master's studies, as many students, I carried out other activities with my own faculty. In fact, I was an academic advisor at the admissions office. So I was helping the recruitment team of my faculty recruit both domestic and international students. Then afterwards, I worked actively in the university library. But for some strange reason, it never really crossed my mind to put that experience in my LinkedIn profile or in my CV. So when I finished my studies, I simply stated, okay, this is me, these are my academic achievements, and these are my grades. Nothing, it was never mentioned about whatever I had done that actually showed a lot about the soft skills that I had acquired in terms of communicating and recruiting domestic and international students. So a lot of students declared that they really want their extracurricular activities to be shown. And we have managed to do so at Ready Education in collaboration with universities. In fact, universities approve all of the extracurricular activities that students carry out within your schools. Now, how do we specifically help institutions and students? Even though our platform started helping current students, so students who were already in the campus, throughout the years, our platform developed. And it developed because it started helping not only current students, but also prospective students or even alumni. Because it is crucial, especially for business schools, to attract prospective students in that important moment, the so-called imprinting moment. When they first hear about you, when they first read about you, let's say in a student fair, or when they first download that brochure that talks a lot about your academic offering. But that's the exact moment when they are actually evaluating you, not just based on the academic offering that your school is offering, but also on how does it feel to be part of that community, and how does it feel to be part of the network, which is extremely important for business schools, as you know better than I. So we help students since the very first moment, because that's when you start building relationships. It's not just about communicating, but building strong relationships from the first moment up to the moment when they arrive at the campus, and then afterwards when they become alumni. Unfortunately, very often, institutions in general, so not business schools in particular, tend to kind of forget somehow about alumni. So we think, or institutions think, that once we offer them everything academically, our job is finished. We've done everything. But alumni, especially for business schools, are an extremely important resource. They are a resource because, as we saw also in other presentations today, they can come back and they want to come back. They want to opt for elective courses and actually develop the lifelong learning experience. But at the same time, they also want to share the feedback about their experience. Let's not forget that getting an MBA or an EMBA, or anyway, having studied in a business school becomes also a part of a student's identity. They want to feel proud of having studied at that university. But somehow, these students just fade away after that they finish studying. They just disappear. They move on, just like I did. So what we want to do is actually helping students feel a part of the student community from the first moment that they get to know you, even afterwards, so that they are continuously connected with the environment and the community where they belong. How do we help business schools succeed? Well, you know better than I how much money business schools spend every year in marketing campaigns. I used to work in digital marketing, so I know that quite well. But when we spend so much money, of course, we also want to have that return on the investment. So we want students to convert into admitted students. Otherwise, the money is lost. How can we do that? Of course, every school does its best in presenting their academic offering. But as I said, there are other factors that are extremely crucial for decision-making among students. And that's also, how does it feel to be part of the student community? And the peer-to-peer connection. Nowadays, things have changed. Let's think also about ourselves. So what do I mean about peer-to-peer connection? When we travel, when we book something on Booking, on Airbnb, or when we simply want to go and have dinner or lunch at a restaurant, what do? Do we go on the website? Do we read our story about us, contact us? No. We go and we look at the reviews because we want to have that authentic review and that peer-to-peer connection, or better, we want to hear about that experience from people who were at the same level as us. That's the same for students. They want to know from students. They want to know from current students who are currently studying. They want to know from alumni. How does it feel to be part of that specific school, of that specific community? And by providing them the tool that helps them get in touch with their peers, you are actually building your community, a stronger community that ultimately will translate also in a higher employability, which is so important for business schools. How do we help students succeed? We help them because we facilitate communication. So we don't want them to feel overwhelmed, but at the same time, we want you to be able to communicate with them. And by creating this channel of really easy communication, we help and grow engagement. Because if they don't dismiss your communications, they read them and they react, automatically they are way more engaged. And by being more engaged, we also increase your efficiency. And we finally allow academic staff to do what they are best at doing, connecting with students instead of carrying out manual tasks. We also proactively support academic staff and students by providing them insights on the students' behavior in the platform. How do we do that? By having a clear overview on the student engagement in the platform, academic staff can proactively intervene if they see at-risk students and fight in this way dropout. Dropout that is happens very often, to be honest, in the first 6 months or 1 year. And it has nothing to do with the academic offering or with a difficulty in learning. It has a lot to do with how engaged and how much they feel that they belong in the student community and in that specific school. Now, I'm sure that by listening to me and by listening that this is a platform, most probably many of you will think, oh my God, another platform. Please no. Nowadays, we use multiple solutions. I know, we all do. But the purpose of Ready Education is not just to offer another layer, another solution that will just get on top of the existing solutions. We want to offer a platform that centralizes and streamlines everything that you already have. So we don't want you to work in a disruptive way. We don't want to be disruptive. We want to be facilitators. We want to put everything in one place so that you work in an easier way, students feel more supported, and at the same time, we also help you having a clear overview of what you are currently using, because we fully integrate with almost every solution. Now, something interesting that has happened among schools that have adopted our solution is that by putting everything in one place, they have figured out that they have a lot of solutions of which first they were not even aware of, because maybe one department purchased a solution and the other department didn't even know, or they have solutions that they're barely using. So what happens is, as I call it, the Marie Kondo effect, the decluttering effect of solutions that are not beneficial and that are just costing money to institutions. Now, we spoke a lot about the peer-to-peer connection. So just as students want to have that peer-to-peer connection and authentic review, I'm sure that you also want to know, what do your peers tell about us, about Ready Education? So I'm happy to share today some success stories of institutions that are currently actually using Ready Education. The first one is the American University in Cairo. Now, it is important to highlight that Ready Education offers a platform that is fully personalized and configurable. What does that mean? Every institution is free to customize it based on the content, based on the colors that you will use, but also on the logos, because every school is unique. In fact, there are schools that are using our solution, but you don't even tell. It looks like an in-house built solution. Now, getting back to the American University in Cairo, they decided to use our solution, highly focusing in the student orientation, because this was an important part of the student journey where they felt like they needed to do more. How do they use it? By inviting incoming students to their community, by inviting them to the events, by providing them important links and contacts, so not just telling them go on the website and search for this and search for that, by providing a checklist that offers a personalized and integrated onboarding. Why? Because academic staff is able to share with them the most relevant information for the incoming students, such as videos, forms, and appointments. The second school that is currently using our solution is London Business School, and they have decided to create a central events diary with the aim to grow engagement. So every single event is in one place. What does it mean? Well, students receive real-time updates and instant notifications about what is currently happening in my campus. What does that entail? It entails an increased participation from students. In fact, they are way more involved, and they are carrying out way more extracurricular activities. By doing so, and by organizing events, even because let's not forget it, students also organize events, not just the academic stuff, well, London Business School is helping their students to develop leadership and organizational skills. And ultimately, it just helps everyone, academic staff and students, because communication is streamlined and it's facilitated. Another school is IE University in Spain. They have the largest student community on our platform. Roughly 20,000 students are currently active users on our platform, but they are highly using it for the alumni. In fact, they have over 6,000 alumni who are constantly active in the platform. But engaging with alumni is not easy and should not be done at the very end when they are an alumni. When they are alumni, most probably the connection is not there anymore. However, there is hope. You can get them back by providing them access to this new platform, or even better, you can start using the platform, again, as I said, when they are in that initial phase, in the imprinting phase, and they are prospective students, by building that long-lasting relationship. Now, another example, it's not a business school, but it's someone that you know. You all know him because otherwise you wouldn't be here today. That's AMBA. AMBA is currently using our platform. Now, I don't know how many of you were aware of it, but AMBA is offering our platform to all of the members. In fact, we have over 80,000 users, if I'm not mistaken, right, Liz? Correct. So, if you haven't used the platform that is being offered by AMBA, please do so. First, because it's really beneficial for you to be connected with like-minded people. And second, because this way you would be able to test our platform as if you were students. Because in this case specifically, AMBA serves as a sort of an institution, and you, the users, are, let's say, the students. So this way you could have access, you could experiment a little bit and see how does it feel to use our platform and how could that benefit your students. This is the end of the presentation. I did my best to keep it very short because I know that everybody is in a hurry now to leave for the dinner. So in case you have any questions, you can ask them now if you want. Both me and my colleagues will be happy to answer them. Or if not, we will be joining the dinner with you, and we will be here also tomorrow morning. Thank you. Any questions? Yes, over there.
Thank you for the wonderful presentation. My question is, we already have a website for the institute. So how do we, if you want to go ahead, how do we integrate this with our existing website?
Yes. Well, this is a question to which actually my colleagues will answer you immediately, even because my wonderful colleagues are the people, I call them the angels, because they take care of our partners after that they are onboarded. So yeah, Liz.
Yeah, hi, I'm Liz Guinell. I'm the head of customer success at Ready Education for our E2AP region. To answer your question, it really does depend on what you have on the website, but we can basically kind of integrate it and take that content and it makes it really a seamless experience. It does look like just another web page within your current ecosystem. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay. Well, no worries. I really hope you enjoyed it, and especially I hope that you enjoyed the event. And, well, I'll be happy to see you later during the dinner and tomorrow morning. Thank you again.